we'll meet again. Thank you very much. Please come and speak to the mourners.
Wow, we were taught God is God and all the time. Well, we, the family of our late brother, Reverend Peter Kaigwa, and the university's community, we have heard a lot about the late Professor Monavo. What comes out clearly is cheerful, humorous, and charismatic. A man who has contributed so much to the advancement of science and education in our country. I now remember Professor Chacha, the Three Musketeers, Professor Musyoka. I once was Minister for Education, and I know that the late President Moi would always create a special time at the end of the year ceremonies in Nakuru to a fellowship with the University Vice Chancellors. I don't know whether that practice continues, but I know they would all come out smiling. Professor Munavu, as you have heard, was not just a professor here, but also a community leader. That has been attested to by my brother, Mwaneya Mudhama. And I know the people of Mbilini, people of Kangundo, people of Machakos will be waiting to say kwaheri to one of their elders, a man who faced difficulty with a big smile. We shall miss Professor Monavo. I have absolutely no problem listening to Professor Ndi, Dr. Ndi, a man who, when I was running for election as a running mate to Raila Odinga, was one of our chief advisors. And Dr. Ndi taught me secession politics. I'm so happy to use David. See David talking nationalistic politics, and that is the country. And I think the biggest tribute we can offer to Professor Monavo is to make sure that Konza Technopolis succeeds. We heard you, we'll see you. Late President Kibaki and I laid the foundation stone for Konza. Konza is a delayed project. Professor Munavu will do the best we can while God gives us life to make sure that that African Silicon Savannah will succeed for the benefit of future generations, to the advancement of science in particular. Now, Reverend Father Peter Kaigwa, when I come to this place, St. Paul's Chapel, I always remember, I'm sure, I don't know whether you remember, the very famous chaplain that time, Professor Ndondas. Our church remembers. This great chaplain within the university. You see, we have heard about professors here who have been to, I know my brother, the Professor, Vice Chancellor of Moi University, and who did so much to do stuff about hyacinth in Lake Victoria, a great spiritual mentor, and other universities, Kenyatta, even Laikipia, which Professor was able to mount. But you know, we all grew up in this university called the University of Nairobi, and all of us say the university. Be that such as may. You know, Reverend Father, you said, you asked how many of these university professors had to do with rampaging students. That stuck to my mind. During our time, we never went on rampage. It was the police who always came to the university and carried out riots and did the rampaging. And then we'd all sometimes come running to Professor Donda's and pray. And I used to organize University Sunday worship across here at St. Andrews. This great community, the academia, you have clearly lost one of you who was outstanding. And as I said, I was of course aware of my brother Monavo Manaya, and I knew David indeed did not know how we knew what was going on. Professor Mutisia, I think you are running mate to Governor Masika. We all know. But in spite of all those complexities, disparities, we had a community leader. How I wish, I think during the time out there, people may want to listen to Senator Musila and architect Ruben Mutiso, who was, I think, Professor Monavo took over from Ruben Mutiso, the architects of Konza. We cannot wait to see that success happen in great honor of a man who was so cheerful and one who led with distinction in the area of education. Of course, some of us, and Father, I'm sure you know I'm an opposition leader, we do have issues. I cannot pretend to be who I'm not. We do have issues with the way the university education, the quality of the same, accessibility. Look at Moi University struggling. How many of those other universities are still struggling? We do have issues. But Monavo did his work on CBC. What we do with it, the problems there, cannot be assigned to Professor Monavo because we want them to rest in eternal peace. And we'll continue to make sure the education system in this country will serve future generations well. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka.